Nice onion.
Hey, it's Josh from the Coffee Science and Education Centre. But enough about me. Today I'm joined by someone who I consider to be an absolute weapon in the coffee industry. Let me introduce to you Jade, who works with some of our cafe partners here in Sydney, and who also happens to pour some of the best, crispiest rosettas I have ever seen. So Jade, what do you think? Can we reveal the mystical secrets of the rosetta?
Sure, how about I do the coffee and then you do the talking?
No worries, sounds good. To get some good results, you're going to need a few things first. Number one, a wide cup. It is possible to pour a rosetta in almost any vessel, but you'll generally get better results at first by using a wider cup with a round bottom. You'll also need espresso shots with plenty of crema. And you'll also need to produce some silky milk texture. Now for the best results with the rosetta, ideally you want a slightly thinner texture than you would for a tulip or a heart pattern. This texture will help you get those finely detailed and tight leaves. We've got our espresso and steamed milk, so let's take a close look at the pouring technique. Hold the jug and the cup off the bench and angle them towards each other. Holding them like this helps get the tip of the jug right into the cup and also helps the pattern to spread out and become more defined. Start pouring from a few centimeters above the lip of the cup. At this point, the texturized milk should be sinking below the surface of your canvas. And when the cup is around half full, bring the tip of the jug right down into the cup, almost touching the surface. You are aiming to begin your pattern in the center of the cup. And as you do that, gently move the tip of the jug from side to side. You should now start to see layers of white foam ever so gently flowing onto the surface of the coffee. Now with this wiggle motion, it should be a small movement from your wrist. You don't want to involve your elbow or shoulder in the process. Just a subtle motion from your wrist will create even layers that will spread out to fill the cup as you pour. Now as the level of your milk rises to around 1 to 2 centimeters from the lip of the cup, continue the same motion with your wrist, but slowly move the jug towards the outside of the cup. And when you get to the edge, stop the wiggle, slow the pour down to a really thin stream of milk. Then lift the jug a few centimeters above the surface and steadily pull through all those layers. And there it is, your classic rosetta. So let's go through that process one more time and recap these steps. First of all, hold the cup and jug so that they're facing each other. Start pouring in the center of the crema from a few centimeters above the surface. When the level reaches around half full, drop the tip of the jug down to just above the surface of the crema, almost touching the surface if you can. In the same continued motion of pouring, start a very subtle side-to-side motion with your wrist. When the level gets close to the top, slowly move the jug back towards the outside of the cup. And when you reach the edge, stop the wiggle, slow the pour down to a very fine flow. Lift the jug and then pull through each layer of that pattern. Now of course Jade makes this look easy, but you'll definitely need to practice all these movements to get all of this into one fluid movement. So here's some quick tips and troubleshooting if your rosetta still looks like an onion. Practice the pouring motion using water. This will help you control the flow and the speed of your pour without wasting a truckload of milk. Now some baristas find it helps to pour a dash of steamed milk into the crema and swirl it around before they start pouring the pattern. This can smooth out the crema and help the pattern to flow more evenly. However, this also softens the flavor of the crema. So that might not be what you want with some of those coffees that you produce. It is always a good idea to keep swirling the milk within the jug while you're waiting to pour. If the foam does start to separate from the milk, you'll end up with nothing happening at first, and then all of a sudden a big blob of foam falling out at the end. Finally, the number one thing we see people get wrong is milk texture. If the texture of your steamed milk isn't silky smooth, then the pattern is never really going to work out well for you. Now, if you need some help to get your milk texture right, we've got a whole video on getting silky, smooth milk texture, and that link is just down below. Okay, Jade, all this learning is great, but what the people really want to see is a good old-fashioned latte art smackdown. You and me. Best Rosetta wins. What do you reckon?
They sound pretty boring.
So, tell me in the comments, who won the smackdown? Did you like Jade's feeble attempt, or did you prefer the refined sophistication of my pour? Thanks guys, see you next time.